I'm going to show you some solid evidence of the cross, like the Christian cross in ancient Hindu temples. In a corner of the main chamber, at the top of this pillar, we can see a strange figure. On its neck, it wears something strange. Yes, it is a cross. I'm trying to show you as much as possible, but we can only see so much because of the darkness and the height. Is it wearing a cross on its neck like modern-day Christians? Is this evidence of Christianity in ancient times? I found this carving in the Sun Temple of Modhera in the state of Gujarat. The carvings here clearly prove that this is a Hindu temple, and archaeologists confirm that the Modhera temple was built 1,000 years ago. But when did Christianity reach India? According to Wikipedia, Christianity reached India as early as 52 AD. That means Christianity has been in India for nearly 2,000 years. But this claim is also heavily disputed by many historians who say Christianity was brought into India by Europeans in the 15th century, making it only 600 years old, and this temple is much older than 600 years. But I was still not satisfied that this is a cross. So I went to the museum in the Modhera temple complex trying to find more evidence. And luckily, I found exactly that. Now, you can clearly see that it looks very much like a cross, like how Christians wear the cross in their necks today. This is a very rare find. See what it says. This figure is called Kichak, and this figure was carved in the 11th century. So it is 1,000 years old. It was actually a part of the Modhera temple. The statue was placed on another pillar in the dark chamber, and it got broken a little, so they moved it to the museum. Of course, some of you may have a gut reaction to dismiss this evidence as fake. Or some will claim that these crosses were carved much later by Christians to foist their religion on Hinduism as a means of propaganda. But if Christians did this just for propaganda, they would have placed these figures in a bright, prominent place where everybody would look. Why would they carve them in a dark, remote corner at a height where nobody would look? Understanding and decoding evidences like this is very hard, so most people will jump to simple conclusions based on their bias. But what if this Sun Temple at Modhera was compromised somehow and these statues were only a few centuries old? Do we see the cross in any other Hindu temple? I found another carving in the ancient Shikanadar temple, which is 1,200 miles away from the Modhera Sun Temple. Is this a cross? Obviously, there is a raised rectangle or square, but in the middle, we can see that it is clearly a cross, very similar to the Christian cross. Why is it carved in this ancient Hindu temple? This temple is at least 1,300 years old. This is long before European conquerors came to India. Right now, you're going to be struggling with cognitive dissonance. On one hand, most historians tell us Christianity came through European conquerors and spread very slowly in India. And we know that Christian symbols are almost never found in Hindu temples. On the other hand, I'm showing you actual evidences of the Christian cross in ancient Indian temples. This is like going into a mall and finding a beach inside the mall. It doesn't belong there, right? So you have to decide if the mall is fake or the beach is fake. But in this case, both of them are real. It's almost impossible not to see the cross on a daily basis, mostly because Christianity is the largest religion in the world. Now you can say, okay, Praveen, that's all fine, But did the cross exist in India during ancient times independently, or was the symbol brought by Christians into India? The answer is yes, the cross did exist in India more than 2,000 years ago. The word for cross in Sanskrit language was chatur or chatwari. The word simply means four, the number 4. The earliest evidence I can find is in the Brahmi script from 2nd century BC. That's just a little bit older than 2,000 years. And it's real easy to understand how they wrote the numerals in Brahmi script. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. So the cross actually meant 4 and was called Chatur. Perhaps this symbol refers to the Chatur Vedas or the 4 Vedas. Now, I consider this evidence as weak because it's only about 100 years older than the time of Jesus. So I started digging around. Then I found some real mind-boggling evidence on the internet. They have found cave paintings of people worshipping the cross. Here you can see a gigantic cross, and there's one guy with raised hands as though he's communicating with it. This is found in the hills of Madhya Pradesh in central India. Here's another one from the same area. A giant cross in the center, and lots of people standing around the cross as though they are praying. They've been found and dated by mainstream experts, and they confirm that these cave paintings are prehistoric, made between 10,000 and 3,000 years ago. So even if we are super cynical and pick the most recent timeline, these cave paintings were made 1,000